Madam Ijoma said everything is free. She promised us.
Keep quiet!
Nothing is free. You owe us, and you will pay every single debt.
Nobody ever saw Madam Ijeoma coming. Not really. They saw the cars first. Long, black, spotless SUVs gliding through dusty streets like they didn't belong to the same country. They saw the gold bracelets stacked on her wrists, the way her heels clicked like authority on concrete floors, the way she spoke softly, but everyone listened. But they never saw her. And by the time they did, it was already too late. The first time Amaka heard about her, it sounded like a miracle. Auntie Ijeoma is helping girls travel, her friend Ngozi whispered, eyes shining with excitement. Real jobs, Italy, some go to Dubai, they send money back home. Amaka paused mid-wash, her hands deep in soapy water behind her mother's roadside food store. Real jobs? She asked carefully. Ngozi nodded quickly. Housekeeping, caregiving, office work. She handles everything. Passport, visa, flight. You just pay small or sometimes nothing if she likes you. Amaka's heart beat faster. Nothing. That word alone felt like hope. Because in her world, nothing good ever came free. That night, Amaka couldn't sleep. She lay on the thin mattress she shared with her younger sister, staring at the cracked ceiling. Italy. She imagined it, clean streets, bright lights, a life where her mother didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to cook, a life where her sister could go to a good school, a life where she wasn't tired all the time. By morning, her decision was already made. Madam Ijeoma's house stood like a palace. Tall gates, security guards, cameras. Amaka hesitated outside, clutching her small handbag. Girls her age sat in the waiting area inside, some nervous, some smiling, some already dressed like they belonged somewhere better. Then she appeared, Madam Ijeoma. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "You are Amaka?" she asked, scanning her with sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Yes, ma," Amaka replied quickly. A slow smile spread across the woman's face. "You are pretty, hardworking, I can tell. I like girls like you." Something about the way she said it made her chest tighten, but she pushed the feeling aside. "You want to travel?" Madam Ijeoma asked. "Yes, ma." "You want a better life?" "Yes, ma." The smile widened. "Then I will give you one." The process moved faster than Amaka expected. Photos, documents, interviews. She was told not to tell too many people. Jealousy can destroy opportunity, Madam had warned. She signed papers she didn't fully understand. But what did it matter? A week later, she held a passport with her name in it. For the first time in her life, Amaka felt powerful, chosen. There were 6 of them on the journey. All girls, all hopeful. At the airport, Madam Ijeoma hugged each of them like a proud mother. "Remember," she said softly, "I am the one who opened this door for you. Do not forget me." "We won't, ma," they chorused. Amaka believed it. She truly did. The first crack came in the plane. Their phones were collected. "Temporary," one of Madam's assistants said, "for safety." Amaka frowned slightly, but the excitement drowned her doubt. Then came the long flight, the strange language, the cold air that bit into her skin when they landed. This wasn't the Italy she imagined. The house they were taken to was nothing like Madame's mansion. It was old, crowded, the windows were barred. "Just for now," one of the men said. The girls exchanged uneasy glances. "Where are our jobs?" Ngozi asked. The man laughed, not kindly. "You will work soon." That night, everything changed. They were called into a small room, one after the other. When it was Amaka's turn, she stepped in, her hands trembling. A woman sat behind a table. Not Madam Ijeoma. This woman's eyes were cold. "You owe money," she said flatly. "Ma? Your travel, documents, everything. 35,000 euros. The words hit like a slap. "That's not possible," Amaka whispered. "Madam said..." The woman slammed her hand on the table. Madame said nothing for free. Silence filled the room. Amaka's chest tightened. I don't have that kind of money, she said weakly. The woman leant forward. You will walk. The truth came like a storm. Not all at once, but piece by piece, until there was nowhere left to hide from it. The jobs they were promised didn't exist. The kindness was fake. The opportunity was a trap. Girls started disappearing from the house at night. They came back different, quiet, broken. Some cried in silence, some stopped speaking altogether. Ngozi grabbed Amaka one evening, her hands shaking. We have to leave, she whispered. How? Amaka asked, her voice hollow. They will kill us. And for the first time, Amaka believed it. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The debt never went down. The rules got stricter. The fear grew heavier. And somewhere far away, back in Nigeria, Madam Ijeoma welcomed new girls into her home with the same smile, the same promises, the same lies. But Amaka refused to disappear, refused to become another silent story. One night, when the guards were careless, she ran. Barefoot, heart pounding, no plan, just instinct. The streets were unfamiliar, cold, endless, but she kept running because stopping meant going back, and going back meant losing herself forever. Help didn't come immediately. It never does. But when it did, it came in the form of someone who listened, someone who believed her, someone who saw beyond the fear. Amaka survived. Not everyone did. Back home, Madam Ijeoma still walked freely, still smiling, still promising, because evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it wears gold. And somewhere, right now, another girl is listening, another promise is being made, another life is about to change forever. The question is, will she see it in time? The question echoed in Amaka's mind long after she escaped, even when she was safe. Even when she finally slept on a real bed again. Even when warm food replaced the hunger that once clawed at her stomach. Because safety didn't erase memory. It only gave it space to breathe. The woman who helped her was named Lucia. She found Amaka trembling behind a dumpster in a narrow alley, her feet bruised, her lips dry, her eyes wide with a fear that words couldn't carry. Lucia didn't ask too many questions at first. She simply removed her coat and wrapped it around Amaka's shoulders. You're safe, she said gently. But Amaka didn't believe her. Not yet. It took days before Amaka spoke. And when she finally did, the words came out like a flood. Every detail, every lie, every face, including Madam Ijeoma. Lucia listened carefully. Then she made a call. Soon, people began to visit. Officials, interpreters, women who had seen stories like hers before. They asked questions Amaka struggled to answer. Do you know her full name? Where is her house located? How many girls were with you? Amaka answered what she could. But one thought kept screaming inside her. Ngozi. I need to go back, Amaka said one evening. Lucia froze. No. My friend is still there. And if you go back, you'll be there too, Lucia replied firmly. I can't just leave her. Lucia's voice softened, but her words didn't. You didn't leave her. She hasn't escaped yet. That truth hit harder than anything else. Days later, Amaka was moved to a shelter. A place filled with girls like her. Different countries, same story, same scars. Some were younger than her, some had been trapped for years, and some never fully came back even after they were free. Amaka started to understand something terrifying. This wasn't just about one woman. It was a network, a system, a machine that fed on desperation and hope. And Madam Ijeoma was just one piece of it. Back in Nigeria, business was still booming. Madam Ijeoma sat in her living room sipping tea as another girl sat nervously across from her. You said you finished secondary school? she asked calmly. Yes, ma, the girl replied. Good. Educated girls do well abroad. The girl smiled faintly. Her name was Blessing, and just like Amaka, she believed she had found a way out. Do your parents know you are here? Madam asked. Blessing hesitated. Only my mother. Madam nodded approvingly. Good. Too many people bring bad energy. She leaned forward slightly. I can change your life, Blessing. The same words, the same tone, the same trap. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, Amaka made a decision. She wasn't going to stay silent. I want to help, Amaka told Lucia. Lucia studied her carefully. It won't be easy. I know. You will have to relive everything. Amaka's voice didn't shake this time. I already do. The investigation began slowly, carefully. Names were written down, locations mapped, patterns studied. Amaka sat in rooms filled with strangers, pointing at photos. That one. He walks with them. She was there the night we arrived. Every answer brought them closer, but also deeper into something dangerous. One night, Lucia entered Amaka's room with a serious expression. They know you are talking. Amaka's heart skipped. Who? Lucia didn't need to answer. Fear returned like it never left. The shadows felt closer. The silence felt heavier. Am I in danger? Amaka asked quietly. Lucia paused. Yes. Back in Nigeria, Madam Ijoma received a call. She listened without speaking. Her expression didn't change, but her fingers tightened slightly around her glass. I understand, she said finally. She hung up, then she smiled. A cold, calculated smile. Prepare another group, she told her assistant, immediately. Time was running out, on both sides. Amaka wasn't just a victim anymore. She was a threat. The night everything shifted again came without warning. A coordinated operation, multiple locations, doors kicked open, voices shouting in different languages, girls rescued, men arrested. But not all. Never all. In the chaos, Ngozi was found, alive. When Amaka saw her again, she didn't recognize her. Not because Ngozi had changed physically, but because something inside her had dimmed. You came back, Ngozi whispered. Amaka shook her head, tears falling. I never left. But one name was missing from the arrest list. One name that mattered most, Madam Ijoma. She was gone. Her house empty, her phones unreachable, her accounts cleared. She had vanished like smoke. Weeks passed, then months. Life slowly began to rebuild itself, piece by piece. Amaka started speaking publicly, at events, on platforms, anywhere someone would listen. Her voice, once small and uncertain, now carried strength. Not every opportunity is real, she said one day, standing before a small crowd. Sometimes it's a cage disguised as a door. Back in a different city, in a different country, a woman stepped out of a car. Elegant, composed, gold bracelets glinting under the sun. She adjusted her sunglasses and walked into a building. Inside, a new group of girls waited, nervous, hopeful, unaware. Madam Ijoma wasn't finished, not even close. And as long as desperation existed, as long as dreams outweighed caution, as long as silence protected monsters, her kind would always find a way back. But now, so would Amaka. Because this time, the story wasn't just about survival. It was about stopping her. And the hunt had just begun.